Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to UCTV Overtime. I'm Ryan Culloway.
And I'm Ethan Tremblay. Each week we'll give you the latest in UC home sporting events and let you know what games are coming up.
Wednesday was a beautiful day for the men's lacrosse team to face Russell Sage at Gaetano Stadium. Parents and students were also excited to be outside and watch the men take home the win. In the first quarter, both teams made a steady climb to 4 points, ending in a tie. In the second quarter, junior James Danielle led Utica, scoring the tie-breaking point, and Nick Litzenberger got the score to 8 over the Gators 7, among many other goals being made. In the second half, the Pioneers scared the Gators, leaving Russell Sage in the dust with 12 points still to their 7. Not slowing down, senior Dylan Dunham led UC in the final quarter with another point. Jacob Heyer also netted a goal, getting Utica up to 15 over 9 with seconds left in the game. The final score read 16 for UC and 9 for Russell Sage. Goalie Joseph Korpix finished the game, stopping an outstanding 14 shots on goal. Congratulations to the men's lacrosse team on their win.
Last Thursday, the women's soccer team went head-to-head against the St. John Fisher Cardinals. In this aggressive and chippy match, the Cardinals scored the first goal of the game in the 20th minute, but UC came back in the 80th minute to tie it at 1. UC's goal was sent off a free kick just past the midfield line and was scored by Heisha Kamatsi. The match ended in a tie 1-1, and freshman goalie Courtney Connolly made 10 saves in the game. This tie wraps up UC's regular season with a record of 2-1. The women's soccer team is now waiting and ready for their Empire 8 Conference tournament, which takes place later this week.
The softball team came out of Wednesday's doubleheader with 2 victories over the SUNY Canton Kangaroos. The Pioneers had an early attack against Canton in Game 1, scoring 6 runs in the second inning. Bailey McIlwain went 3 for 4 at the plate, making her UC's leading hitter. Sarah Stronsky was the only other Pioneer that had multiple hits in Game 1. Stronsky went 2 for 3 with an RBI. McIlwain drove in another run in the third with a single to right center, giving UC a 7-0 lead. Emily Joss ended the game in the fifth with an RBI single to center, bringing the 8-run rule to effect after 5 innings. Jordan Conti had full control on the mound for UC. She pitched 5 shutout innings, allowing 3 hits, struck out 4, and walked none. This victory allowed Conti to improve to 2-3 on the season. UC run-ruled Canton in Game 1 with a final score of 8-0.
UC's McKenny Reynold and Canton's Kaylee Chivari each pitched 3 scoreless innings to start Game 2. In the bottom of the 4th, Brooke Caitlin hit a sacrifice fly to left, sending Skransky home and breaking the scoreless tie. Megan O'Keefe sent Julia Phelps home from third with a single to left, giving UC a 2-0 lead. Skransky was strong at the plate all day. She was the only Pioneer with multiple hits in Game 2, finishing it 2 for 3. Reinhold pitched 6 shutout innings for the Pioneers on her way to her first win of the season. She allowed 2 hits, struck out 7, and walked 2. Conti took over the mound in the 7th to secure their second victory of the day. Game 2 ended with a final score of 2-0 UC.
The baseball team had a 2-game victory against Houghton College on Friday's doubleheader. Griffin Bauer started on the mound for UC and pitched 5 scoreless innings before Houghton's offense attacked in the 6th. Jake Mangino relieved Bauer to collect his first win as Pioneer. The Pioneers scored 7 runs within the first 5, giving UC a 7-0 lead. This was until the 6th, when the Highlanders scored 9 on 5 hits, giving them a 2-run lead. In the bottom of the 6th, UC tied the score at 9. It was a scoreless top of the 7th, which gave UC an offensive advantage. A lot of action happened in the bottom of the inning, and Michael Mutener scored on a tag-up to secure the win. The Pioneers defeated the Highlanders in Game 1 by a score of 10-9.
The Pioneers brought their energy into the Game 2 to secure their second victory of the day. Ryan Cardone collected his first Pioneer win on the mound. Throwing 6 strong innings, he allowed 3 runs and 6 hits, and struck out 4. Jake Mangino pitched the next 2 on relief for Cardone, and Christian Cognetti finished the game. All nine spots in UC's lineup got a hit. UC scored 11 runs on 16 hits. The final score of the game being 11-5 UC.
On Friday, the men's basketball team played against Nazareth College to do their best to advance to the Empire 8 championship match on Sunday. UC started off the game with a lead of 10-7, Chris Green scoring 8 of the points in the first half. At the end of the first half, however, Nazareth was in the lead by a score of 32 to the Pioneers 30. In the second half, Thomas Moriel turned the tables, making the score 35 to 34. And from that point forward, UC maintained the lead and never looked back. The team made 62.5% of their three-point field goals, with the help of Avery Costa making 2 of the shots just before the shot clock expired. Kobe Lufkin scored an amazing 16 points for the game, 10 of which just in the second half. The game ended in the score favoring your Pioneers, 69 to 59. This pushes UC to the Empire 8 Finals, played on Sunday, and their chance to win their first ever Empire 8 championship.
The men's basketball team competed in their Empire 8 championship against St. John Fisher Cardinals this past Sunday. Sophomore Thomas Morley helped pave the way as UC's leading scorer with 19 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. Kobe Lufkin scored 14, Avery Costin added 12, and Darius Hopkins and Kemedrick Murphy recorded 11 each. Murphy was awarded the tournament MVP with an average of 10 points and 7 rebounds over their 2 Empire 8 games. The Pioneers came out of the game with an 89-65 victory, which secured their first ever Empire 8 championship title. Congratulations to the men's basketball team. They had a fantastic season with a final record of 10-2.
On Sunday, the women's field hockey team wrapped up their season with a loss to Houghton College. The Highlanders scored the first goal of the game, but the Pioneers responded before the first half could end. With just seconds left, Shannon Jedredich netted her first of the season off of Madeline Crasidlo's assist. Houghton came out strong in the second half, scoring 2 goals in the first 9 minutes. No more goals were scored, which made the final score to be 3-1 Houghton.
Yesterday, the men's tennis team played against Nazareth's Golden Flyers in the Dome, but they lost the battle, sadly 8-1. The only victory UC got was in the first doubles spot. LJ Nuzzo and Austin McGrain played against, and they won in the Pro 8 set 8-5. Each player's single matches were close, but they all surrendered to Nazareth. In third singles, Makai Medici won the second set against Nazareth's William Britton, but the third set resulted in a win for Britton, giving him the win over the match.
This week is full of sports for the Pioneers, both home games and away. Today, the men's track team is in Cortland, competing at 3 p.m.
Tomorrow, the men's lacrosse team will be playing on home turf against SUNY Potsdam. This game is scheduled to start at 4. The women's soccer team will be traveling to Houghton to play the Highlanders at 5.
Wednesday, the men's soccer team is playing in the Empire 8 quarterfinal versus a higher-seeded team yet to be determined. Softball will be playing a doubleheader home against Keuka College at 3 and 5 p.m. The baseball team will be in Cobleskill playing the Fighting Tigers at 3 p.m., while the women's lacrosse team will be against the Canton Kangaroos at 4 p.m. on Canton turf.
Thursday is all about women's soccer, who will be competing in the semifinals. Time and team is to be determined based on the results of prior games. Friday is also another fairly quiet day, except for the men's soccer team, who are scheduled to compete in the semifinals. Again, time and team is to be determined.
Saturday will make up for the quiet days during the week, starting off with the women's lacrosse team against Nazareth College on home turf. Game start is at noon. Both the men's and women's track team will be competing in Buffalo, starting at noon as well. Baseball will be playing Keuka College on the UC field in a doubleheader at 1 and 3 p.m. Softball will also be competing in a doubleheader on Greenman Field against the Nazareth Golden Flyers at 1 and 3 p.m.
As soon as the women's lacrosse team wraps up their game at Guantanamo Stadium, the men's lacrosse team will be competing against St. John Fisher Cardinals at 3 p.m. The men's tennis team will be in Rochester competing against St. John Fisher, and time is to be determined. And finally, for Saturday, the women's soccer team will be competing in the championship, given results of prior games. Time and team is to be determined.
Sunday, the men's tennis team is the only game playing at home. This will be against the Alfred Saxons at 1 p.m. Baseball will be away to Keuka Park, playing against the Wolves in a doubleheader at 1 and 3 p.m. Softball will also be playing away a doubleheader in Rochester against the St. John Fisher Cardinals. Women's volleyball will also be at St. John Fisher at 3 p.m.
And that's going to wrap up today's showing of UCTV Overtime. Good luck to all those who have games and playoff games scheduled for this week.
Be sure to watch your favorite Pioneers on the live stream at ucpioneers.com.
I know I'll be watching.
Thank you all for tuning in. Always remember to
Fear the moose.